Good afternoon, everyone. Today was one of those days inside of the S&P where we had a rally into the close. Now, my goal in today's video is to find the list of stocks that outperformed the S&P during this same time period. This is the final hour of the markets in which today we had a massive rally. Where did we see more buyers than even inside of the S&P 500? That's the question I'm trying to answer. Now, to go ahead and answer that question, we'll be using the relative performance indicator to make our job of comparing symbols a lot easier. This is a free indicator that we built together over the weekend. You can download it for free from our website. That's tosindicators.com/indicator/relative-performance. And there, if you click this big green button, you can download the indicator and follow along. These are the settings that I have my indicator set to. Our benchmark type I have is bars. I'm going back a total period of 11 bars. That's 11 plus 1 for the current bar that we're on, for a total of 12 bars on a 5-minute time frame chart for 60 minutes or the final hour. And the benchmark symbol is the S&P 500. Now, if I click OK, we click apply. Inside of the S&P here, we can see the performance from that 12 o'clock candle to the 12:55 candle was 0.29%, comparing close to close. That's also shown right up here inside of our labels, 0.29%. Now, if I change this from SPY to say Apple, you can see the second portion of this label, the current chart's label updates. In the case of Apple, that value over the same time period was 0.55% compared to the S&P's 0.29%. So Apple outperformed the S&P in that final hour. So Apple was one of those symbols that we're looking for. Now, let's take a look at some other similar symbols. To go ahead and make that job easier, I've already created a scan here. This is the same scan that Volatility Box members I'll be showing you how to build in part 2 of the Relative Performance Indicator tutorial. In case you'd like an advanced version of this scan, just send me an email and I can send you a shared link to this particular scan that I'm using. Now, let's go ahead and run this and see what results we get. We have a total of 46 stocks inside of this watch list that outperform the S&P's 0.29%. Let's go ahead and go through this list and see what stands out here. At the top, we have AMD, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, so a series of tech stocks, and we also have the QQQ ETF here. So we can see that tech is one of those symbols, or sectors rather, that outperform the S&P 500. Coming in here, and if we take a look at what QQQ looked like in that same time period, QQQ returned 0.41% compared to the S&P's 0.29%. Specifically, Apple here returned 0.55, so even greater than the Qs. We also had Nvidia. Nvidia was at a 0.42%, AMD 0.56, so similar to Apple. Amazon was another symbol, 0.51%, and we also had Microsoft on the list. That's a little bit lower at 0.36%. So a lot of tech stocks that outperformed the S&P here. There's of course more stocks here which you can compare on your own using the indicator, but let's switch gears and take a look at the XLF ETF here as well. That's one that stands out that's a little different. So if we load in XLF, while it did outperform the S&P, it wasn't by much, 0.34% compared to 0.29%. And taking a look at some other stocks here inside of XLF that stand out, we have, say, Morgan Stanley. If we load that in, and Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley 0.47%, so a little bit more, and then Goldman Sachs 0.29%, so more or less equal to the S&P. I'm guessing there's some rounding associated here. Now, keep coming down the list here, some other stocks, Peloton, Visa, MasterCard, Square. So we can also take a look at some of those. So Visa 0.54%, MasterCard 0.56%, Square 0.74%. So far, Square is the one stock that is leading the charge in terms of the percentage gain in that final hour. We also had FCX, that was another symbol on that list, 0.32%. One more that stands out is Tesla, along with XLC, which was another ETF, XLC right down here, Tesla up here. If we take a look at those two as our final two, Tesla 0.48%, and then XLC as a sector 0.37%. So still Square is the one that is the outlier in terms of the outlier on the upside. For the most part, we saw the outperformers were around that 0.55%. And there, a very clear example of that was Apple, which was one of the stocks we started with. Alright, hopefully through this video you found yet another example of how you can use the relative performance indicator that we built, use the bar setting here, set that back to a custom period of 11 to do your own manual research to try and see what stocks might have either outperformed or underperformed a certain sector, a certain market. In this case we used the S&P 500, but you could of course plug in whatever you'd like and try and find a list of those stocks that have outperformed or underperformed in whatever time period you're looking at. Again, for all Volatility Box members, stay tuned for part 2 of this tutorial, in which I'll show you how to build the scan and start to treat Thinkorswim and the scan tab as your own personal database, where you even have the metrics available for you to be able to sort and find useful information from. Take care everyone, good luck trading, and we'll see you in the next update.